Start it. Come on. Come on, IG. Okay, there it is. Okay. All right. I think we good now. I think we good.
Oh, I ain't see we live.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. We should be good.
Let me go share it. You got some hot and spicy. I don't know why I asked that. Duh. Hot and spicy topics.
Oh yeah, you already know it. Well, you look, you got me one. You this is one you recently did. I was like, oh yeah, we gotta talk about this for sure. And like I said, the other one I had, even though I had to go dig into into the old library to find it, I was like, oh, okay, we ain't talked about this. This is something we can talk about. But yeah,
Okay.
yeah, for sure. I've been seeing you more active on Threads. I've been seeing you more.
Well, so my so the stuff that posts on Threads is stuff that's from my Facebook. So I got to connect it. So anytime I post on Facebook, it goes to my Threads.
Oh, okay, yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah. And so then anytime I'm on there, looking at somebody replying or something to my stuff, then I kind of like look down the timeline a little bit, but I don't really scroll down there either.
Mm. So you post on Facebook first, and then it goes to Threads.
Yep. Yep.
Oh, okay, okay. I still got to figure that out. I don't know how mine ain't doing the same thing, but
It's a setting. I forgot. I did that long time ago. Probably like
this
probably 2 years ago. I had it set up like that.
this from your business page. Is your
From my
business page
personal Facebook page.
to Threads?
Yeah, it don't go from my business page. It go from my personal.
Oh, okay.
Yep. I don't have the
Maybe,
option on my business page.
maybe that's where I'm messing up then,
Hmm.
because I'm trying to do it for my yeah. Okay,
Mm-mm.
that makes sense.
I sure heard the whoa. The
My wife
boys
up there
up.
doing something. I don't know what she's doing up there. But it's okay. She sounds so sorry. Is everything all right? The broom fell? Oh, okay.
They trying to be a part of the panel.
Look, I would love to have her be a part of something. We gonna get my wife on here so she can say some things from her perspective, especially being married to me, which is in itself an experience. So
I
you
sure
know,
want to hear her thoughts.
oh yeah, yeah, yeah,
Especially being married to you. Yeah, yeah. I like
yeah.
hearing both sides. You pretty mellow, pretty you know, you see both sides of stuff too. So
You
I
think
can't
I'm
wait.
mellow?
Yeah.
That's good. That's good. It's
Well, we
working.
gonna see. We gonna see once wifey get on.
A whole nother thing. Let me tell you, it's a whole nother thing. But it's okay. I'm glad that that's the perception. Yeah, I'm glad that's the perception. But we definitely got some stuff coming up. Live events. You know, guests. A few guests coming up. People coming on, having some good discussions. Man, I'm excited. I'm excited about it.
Yeah.
I got to look. We had some good conversations. Like this stuff is necessary to be talked about. Important, and you don't hear a lot of people tackling some stuff that we decided to tackle, especially from the perspective of men and women. You know, at the same time, and not we're not trying to prove each other wrong. Oh, it's y'all that's doing this. It's y'all that's doing this. You know what I'm saying? Which is like I say, it's easy, but we both do things. We both uh, should be accountable for our part that we play, and I think that's a healthy, you know, that's a healthy thing for the culture. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying?
Yep.
So, but yeah,
Yeah.
this is unlearn to relearn. Brother
Um,
Love.
it's
Yeah.
I mean the thing is too, I feel like people don't understand. Like we can have the hard conversations with each other about men and women, like women speaking on men and men speaking on women. We can do that, but it's the objective or the perspective that we come from as far as are you doing it in a bashing manner, or or you just addressing the issue. I think that's what it is. We don't address the problem, we addressing each other. And sometimes it calls for, sometimes you got to address each other, but no, a lot of times it's just a problem because both genders do it. And that's where it's like I shared a post from somebody today where he was like, the gender wars is exhausting, and it is because it's like y'all, both genders literally do this. So at this point, it's not, you know what I'm saying? It's not a gender thing. Some things are gender, but it's like a very small amount of the issues we address are gender. Everything else is literally just what both of us do, men and women. So it's like, let's attack the problem instead of attacking the person. And a lot of people don't know how to do that. They rather attack the person than attack the problem.
Yeah, yeah, and we all can just say, hey, if it's true, it's true. If we do this thing, and it's something that we do as men, hey, just be real about it. That's it's things that women do as women, and you just got to be honest about that. There's nothing wrong with that. Nothing takes away from that. You just got to be honest about the part that you play, and like, okay, you know what, you're right, and I do need to fix that. That just goes into not only relationships within the culture, just relationships with each other too. You got to do that if you're gonna be with a person too. In a healthy way. In a healthy way. Some of y'all just together, and you know, it ain't necessarily healthy how you
Yeah.
attacking the thing. But
Yep.
uh, yeah, but I want to look. I want to stay right there though, because that go into the first the first topic for today. Together, and so when I saw that, you know, first of all, it hit home very much so because this is something personally I've had to grow with, and in being married and being with a person long term, and I saw your post. I'm like, okay, that's from a perspective of even just you know starting out, having to have a hard conversation with a person and expecting it to go further or deeper, whatever the case may be. And it's like, why are we so reluctant to go towards the hard conversations?
Yeah. Yeah.
Like, what is it? Is it like a fear thing? Like, what inspired you for that? What can you speak to that?
So look, I'm gonna deter for a minute, right? Before we go into that one, let's jump back to that one because ugh. So let's jump back to that one.
Okay.
But it's a comment here. I'm gonna let you go first, and then I'll go
Okay.
into what he said.
Irvin Smith. Okay. Describe what's the difference between attacking the problem versus attacking the person. Ooh, that's a good. That's a really
And it
good.
goes back,
Yeah.
but look, and the reason why I stopped and I'm a deter because it actually go into what you the first one, like how can you grow together without the hard conversations. So I
Mhm.
think this is also a part of it. Well, the hard conversations people don't want to have because they don't want to be attacked. So
Mhm.
I'm like, let's answer his question first, and then we're gonna go into it because I definitely got a recent story to talk about with the hard conversation and the person feeling like, they may have was going to be attacked. But I'll let you go first.
Okay. Okay. For me, I mean, it's pretty simple. Um, I've, I've learned this, in therapy and stuff with me and my wife. You have to keep the focus on the actual issue and not making it so much about the person. So if my wife upsets me in a certain way or something like that, I'll tell her how what she did, how it affected me, and what I took from it, what it sounded like she said to me, how I took it, and why I took it that way.
Yep.
Okay, that ain't necessarily saying you said a thing, you're a horrible person for saying this thing. This is no, this is how I took the thing. This is
Yes.
how I took the statement.
Yep.
Okay, and vice versa. We do that, but we're focused on the statement, how it affects us, and why it affects us that way. It's not necessarily that you're trying to damage me. You knew if I felt like this. No, you don't know I felt like this. We've never even had a conversation, you know. But you got to let. But then your her job is to say, okay, well, this is what I meant by that, okay, and this is why I wouldn't say that to you in that way if I knew how you felt
Yep.
about whatever's been said. So
Yep.
to me, you have to. It's not a personal thing. People, we all are going to be offended by something at some point. You can't avoid that, but you can't think that all of it is intentional.
Yep.
It's not an intentional thing that a person's specifically trying to, especially if y'all are in a relationship and y'all are trying to build something, real with each other. And it's the conversation that you have to get to the root of it. And to me, that's the difference. Having a conversation to get to the root of why it's bothering one of you, or just saying, "Hey, you're a bad person for saying this thing, or you trying to hurt me, or you trying to disrespect me, or whatever." I
Yeah.
think that's the difference. I hope that sounded right. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, I agree. I agree. I think the attacking the problem versus attacking the person is not. It does matter. Not only they say it don't matter what you say, it's how you say it. But in this particular instance, both matters. So what you say and how you say in this particular instance. So you do gotta allow them. Hey, this is how I took it. So put yourself in that. The minute you are attacking the person, you're using words like, "Well, you this, you that, and this all, and you." It's always about something they did wrong. But when you put yourself in the middle of the problem with them, y'all hold hands. We fighting this problem together. It's not a me against you. You're like, then you're gonna tell them like, "Hey, this is what happened. This is how I took it." Right? So now you putting yourself in it. You're saying I. And it's not always you did this, you said that, you. It's now like, oh, okay, so the other person could see this like, oh, okay, well, they heard it wrong. And I know that's probably like, well, nah, I ain't hear it wrong. You said it exactly like that. However, again, we not attacking the person. We attacking the problem. So when something is said, then yes, you would be like, hey, this is how I took that. When you said X, Y, and Z, this is what that did to me, and that's how I heard it. So then you're right. You give that other person time to clarify. And that's the problem with a lot of conversations and issues. We attack the person because we don't ask for clarification. Even if we're right with what they said, again, I'm in this with you together. We're holding hands, right? You my partner. We're not enemies toward each other. Or you're my friend. Because I'm gonna bring up a situation that I just dealt with of well, I wouldn't even call her a friend, but somebody I was kicking it with. And the thing was, it's like, okay, you're different, I'm different, right? You like certain things, I like certain things. You don't like certain things, I don't like certain things. But I'm not going to say you're just a horrible or bad person. But if we gonna mesh together, we gotta learn to like compromise somewhere, right? You gotta learn my boundaries. I gotta learn yours. So I gotta be able to talk to you in a way to show you like, hey, you're not wrong for saying or thinking the way you thought. However, if you want to stay connected to me, right? Then this is how I need you to, address me, or this is how I need you to move. So if you want to move like that because that's how you move, cool, that's you. But I'm not willing to accept that, right? So let's talk about this is how you made me feel. This is what happened. This what I thought when you did, what you did or whatever. So it's like we're attacking the actual problem. Okay, you saw it a different way than me. What's the next solution? Well, let's compromise on this. Okay, maybe I won't say don't go, to your friend's house without telling me. Maybe I'll say, hey, when you get there, just make sure you text and say, I'm on my way to my girl's house or whatever. Just something simple. We ain't gotta have a phone call. Because you be in a rush sometimes. So we don't have to have a phone call about that. Just text. I'll compromise on that. You know what I'm saying? So we're attacking the problem of you not communicating to me, but I'm not attacking you for being wrong for not wanting to call. A text is fine. So that's like a medium, compromise between people with attacking the problem versus attacking the person. But that's relationships. But in a friendship, there was a issue that happened where we have a girls group where we want to keep our group tight, right? And so we don't want outside forces coming to like mess us up. So therefore, we don't join everybody in our circle. And so there was a situation where there was a misunderstanding. Somebody heard something different than what the group said, so then they moved differently. So then the energies that
Mm.
was brought into the group when we were out, it didn't mesh well, right? So we enjoyed that night. We enjoyed our night or whatever. But then we said, hey, later on that night, we said, hey, we need a conversation because what happened tonight. Maybe there was a misunderstanding. So let's get on the phone. Let's talk so that we can know how to move going forward. They didn't want to talk because they didn't feel like they were wrong. Well, what you wrong about what? You don't even know what we finna talk about. But that was the thing. It was the energy that was felt there. It's like you knew something was fucked up. Like you shouldn't have done that or whatever. But anyway, so this person was like, no, 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 I didn't do anything wrong. But that's a person who's always been, whether she is or whether she thinks she is, that's always been attacked for her decisions. So because
Mm.
she always felt attacked for her decisions, she don't want to have the hard conversations. So now it goes into the question that you
Mm.
that you put up. You cannot grow with anybody. Friendship, businessship, courtship, relationship, marriage, whatever. You cannot grow associateship because I don't call everybody my friend. I have associates. But you cannot grow in any ship if it's something that needs to be talked about that y'all had like a clash on. We can't sweep that under the rug. Let's have those hard conversations. Let's see how you thought. Maybe you saw it wrong. Let's see how I thought. Maybe I saw it wrong. But let's come to the middle ground so that we don't come across this again. Because we ain't gonna grow together. And I'm,
Hey.
I'm firm on that. If you as an adult can't take accountability, I'm sorry. I'm not raising no more kids. Right? So you gotta take accountability. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. I might have been wrong, but I need you to tell me that. You can't tell me that if we don't have the hard conversations, right?
That's, man.
Ain't no growth there.
That's. But it takes a lot of and look, kudos to y'all for the girl group for having that maturity because I feel like that takes a lot of maturity to have had that group like that to where you're trying to protect the integrity of it and trying to be handle stuff in a healthy way because I think when you find yourself in positions where you're more concerned with not being wrong. I think you in the wrong space, especially if you want relationships with other people, because it's not a power thing. Okay, it's not you're not losing no power by uh, humbling yourself enough to say, I was wrong. I have more respect for people who can say, you know what, I was wrong about that. You right. You right, bro. I was wrong about that. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? I
I,
don't, I don't look at you no different. You're not less than because you're wrong about something. Like that don't take away from who you are. We're human. Like what do you expect? Like
it's like people
but
think if you're
you
wrong, that messes your whole character up. It's okay. You was wrong that time. That don't mean you wrong all the time. It's okay. You
right
know,
right.
it's like people just don't want to be wrong. I don't understand. It's like they make so when they make mistakes, they want you to have grace and say, "Well, I ain't perfect. I know." So that's why when you wrong, why you scared to admit that you're wrong? Like you're wrong. And if you want to
Exactly.
grow with me, we gonna have to have them hard conversations. Ain't no sweeping it under the rug because I don't know how to be fake. My face gonna say it if my words don't. So if I feel a way about somebody, I ain't gonna be able to like be in your presence and hee hee ha ha and then hug or whatever we do to act like we cool. I can't do that. Like I just don't move like that. I like to be in free, peaceful, understanding energy. So if we can't have them hard conversations and get that mess out in the middle, all because you don't want to feel like you're wrong, you probably ain't even wrong. But you don't even want to have a hard conversation to see. What is this stumbling block that's right? It's just that's it. It's just a stumbling block. If you can get over them stumbling blocks with people, then y'all are able to grow together, learn together, and look, unlearn to relearn a lot of things that may cause y'all to grow apart. No, we trying to grow together. So I'm sorry, but them hard conversations just don't have to happen.
Yeah, look, they're very necessary, and I think that part of it is people don't understand how necessary that stuff is to your growth in a relationship with a person, regardless of what kind of relationship it is. It's very necessary to tackle the things because you're not, like we talking about, we're not doing this trying to prove each other wrong. So you got to take that part out of it. It's not about who's right and who's wrong, and you don't have the upper hand because you're right, and you don't lose anything because you're wrong. What y'all are trying to do is communicate in a way that's effective for your relationship. This is all stuff that's key to your growth in your relationship. So things that you might be uncomfortable with. You might be uncomfortable with people calling you out on some things because you might be lying to yourself about things that but you have to think of the upside of it. At the end of the day, I would want someone to call me out on some things that I might not even be ready to accept I'm doing wrong, but because you called me and I'm like, you know what? Why am I doing this? Let me get this together. You know what I'm saying? Because I want to do better for myself. I want my relationships to be better. So I have to respect and appreciate you at the end of the day for calling me out on some stuff that I need to hear. But and don't get me wrong. I know some people might say, I can't say nothing to this person because they gonna react in a way that's, they're not ready for us to have that conversation. You know what I'm saying? Like, and to me, that's fair. Everybody's not, like I said, not mature enough to go there with everybody. But you have to get to a space where you can have a hard conversation with a person. Somebody got to be able to talk to you. Somebody, you know.
Yeah, yeah. If you don't want nobody to correct you, then you ain't as mature as you think you are, or that claiming that you are. It's correction is good for us. Sometimes we do things out of habit because that's just we've gotten away with it so long, but that doesn't mean it's right. So if you're constantly doing something out of habit, when somebody bring it up, it may be that moment where it's like, oh dang, I do that. Other people didn't think it was wrong, but now I see, oh, this person doesn't accept that. That's like me, the example I gave with the group. I was like, I told the girl, I don't play that whole you don't think you wrong, so you ain't finna talk to the group. You won't be a part of the group messing with me. Like, I don't have those type of people in the circle. Like, we gotta talk about this. We want to be happy. We want to move forward. We want to find solutions. We ain't got time to like worry about, oh, okay, well, they didn't want to talk last time, so that means every problem that come up now, maybe I won't say none because they may not want to talk again. Well, how many of those problems you gonna let build up because the person
Exactly.
don't want to talk? So it's like, nah, no, we gonna have to have them hard
Exactly.
conversations.
And like I said, and like I said, everybody ain't gonna be ready for it. You know, but
So let
you
me
have
ask
to.
you,
I'll go ahead.
let me ask you a question. What do
Yeah.
you do when people are not ready? Then, like, say you've been right. This ain't nobody fresh. This somebody you've been rocking with, right? Whether that's a friend or a man or a woman that you intimate with. When they don't want to have the hard conversations, what do you do?
I feel like that's different for each relationship, right?
It is.
Because I ain't just finna, if my wife ain't ready to have a certain conversation, I ain't just finna quit on my wife, okay? That's a process, okay? Now, if I'm homeboys with you and we've been rocking for a long time, that's another one that's kind of hard to quit on. But I will say that the dynamic of our relationship is changing immediately, because I'm not finna hold who I am back as a person because you ain't ready to have this type of relationship. No, this is who I am now. This is who I am. At a certain point, I don't want to say age, but at a certain point in your life, you're trying to be a healthy individual. You don't want to deal with people who can't go there with you. You know what I'm saying? Like you don't want to deal with them because it ain't. You understand? There's no ego. This ain't about who's right and who's wrong. This is about us being honest and have a healthy relationship with each other. Okay, so anybody around me, I would hope that they would come and tell me what I need to hear and give me the freedom to do so with them because that's a healthy. We understand that's a healthy relationship. So if you're not ready for that, then our dynamic has to change. I ain't saying that I'm not gonna be your homie no more, but I just know I can't deal with you on a certain level. So I can't. The position you have in my life has to change because we can't deal with each other on a certain level because you're not ready for that, and that's where I live. I live at that level.
Yeah.
So I'm not finna change who I am because you aren't ready. And not even say you have to be ready. You can stay there till you die, for all I care.
Mhm.
But that's not who I'm going to be.
Yep.
Okay, that's not who I'm going to be at all.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship, that is a it's a different process to me. I don't think I've ever, man, I don't know if I've had to break up with a person for that. Uh, but I know for me and my wife, there are conversations that I have to be delicate with her because I am always ready for it. I am always ready. But me knowing who she is, she's not like me. So I know that coming into this.
Yeah.
So it's stuff that I'm like, okay, it's fine.
Yep.
We're gonna work towards it. We're gonna work toward it. And it happens. It
Yep.
might not it never happens when I exactly want it to happen. But I also gotta I also gotta bring it back because I'm too hyper focused on relationship stuff to like sometimes I'm too into it. So I know what's going on, but I still have to do stuff the correct way. So even though I know we need to have this conversation, I have to make sure that we're having it in the time that's comfortable for her and comfortable for me. I'm always ready,
Yep.
but like I said, she's not like this guy. Like I said, that's we got to have her on because
Right.
it's a different thing being married to somebody like this.
Yes.
It ain't always you know what I'm saying.
But it also could be too. That's just the difference with men and women as well. So it's like it's different.
Mm,
I like how you said there's different. It just depends on the situation. You know what I mean? It is different factors. That's why I gave the disclaimer when I first asked you that question. I said for somebody who you've been with a long
mm,
time or something like, because all these new people, I don't have the patience for it. If you come in
mm,
already, because I'm at, like you said, it ain't really age, it's a point. So if I'm at a point in my life, I'm not. If you coming already with you just kind of too. Yeah, I don't know. I gotta walk on eggshells with you. You ain't gonna have the access to me that you want. But for somebody that I've been with, my friends, my long term friends, somebody who the bond I really want to build, relationships, a marriage. Now that does take a different approach. So I like how you said that because that's absolutely real. And that's what I feel like we need to unlearn to relearn. People think there is just like one set in stone way to do relationships and marriages and friendships. It is not. You have to
mm.
know the people that you are connecting with. Everybody is different. So, like you said, I like how you said that. Like, I'm ready for the conversation now, but I gotta be a little bit delicate with my wife. I gotta, slow it down a little bit. I can't have it until she's ready. I like that because again, relationships require grace as well. You gotta allow people to. It's like you not her daddy and she ain't your mama. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, our kids, we be like, right now. What I say, but you can't do that with your partner. That ain't your kid. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, and everybody have different, I know traumas is a little deeper word, but everybody got little, different things that they're hurt, that has hurt them before, things that
For
close
sure.
them off, so it's like, yes, you have to move a certain way with certain people. Now mind you, like this one when I was like, oh, with the person, I'm like, well, you just can't be a part of the group because we ain't doing that. That that person has a pattern of that though. We past late in mid 30s, late 30s, and you're still doing this type of thing where you don't think people should correct you or you don't want to have the hard conversations. You just feel like, oh, well, it'll work itself out. Okay, well, you belong to a different group, not this group. Because in this group, we have hard conversations. We apologize. We stand
Mm-hmm.
up and say, I was wrong. We do that over here in this group, you know? So I like how you broke that down too. I love it because people do tend to now that's some real right there. That's the conversations we need to be seeing actually. Like
For
how you
sure.
said as a man, not even as a husband, because I know marriage relationships people treat them differently, but just even as a man in general, because these type of things need to be learned before the relationship, right? Like learn
Yeah.
how to deal with women, learn how to talk to a woman before you get in and y'all lock in on some other type stuff. Now you got to deal with the attitudes, or you got to deal with the maturity or immaturity. It's like, well, as a man or woman, because me too, how do I dress this person that I say I want to build with? You can't handle them the same way you would handle somebody that you don't care if they get the hell on tomorrow. Today, you don't care. You can't handle them the same way. So,
Yeah, look, I know, I know my wife, and I know who she is. I know who she's not.
yeah.
So I can't put that on her to be a person that she's not. Just like she can't do the same for me. And even I wanted to say this too, because you're talking about your friendships, and I just want to make sure it's clear. I'm not saying that you can't give your friends the same grace, but you know your friends too. You know if this person been like this. It's the difference between you struggling to get to that space and you just flat out refusing to ever go into that
Yes.
space.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? I know it's homies that aren't that expressive, and it might be harder for them to go ahead and uh, admit to certain things and say certain things. I respect that because I know what you've been through. I know it ain't easy for us to express ourselves as men, period. But I understand, so I can give you grace with that. But if you somebody who just flat out like, no, I ain't doing that, I ain't on that.
Yep.
Okay, well then it's over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Then you might have to find, like you said, you might have to find another friend group if
Yeah,
it's
and
gonna be
and
over.
that's what that person was. Now, mind you, I've known her for years, but she was a friend of a friend. Because of how she been, I've never allowed her to get close to me as a friend because I know I don't accept those type of friendships. So when we meshed a group together, it was funny. They was like, "Girl, you know you a Taurus." I'm like, "I don't know if it's the Taurus or just the growth in me, but I ain't got time for no." Baby, you gotta find a different group then. Like we ain't even doing that. Like, cause you been like that too long. Like I've known her before the group. So at this point, you just really ain't trying. Like you just need people who really gonna accept that part of you. You know what I'm saying? Which people do. She got people that do it. But
Yeah.
this ain't that over here though. So you wanted to be a part of this, right? We didn't beg you to be a part of this. So since you don't want to change what the group needs you to be to keep a good energy, to keep positivity, to keep a good, memories going, then you just can't be a part of it. Like you say, you gotta go. My real friends, we good. I know exactly how to treat each different one. I know what they can handle, what they cannot handle. I know how to approach them when it's time to have hard conversations. But when I tell you this group, we so like in tune with each other though. It's not really too many like it really ain't that many hard conversations we gotta have with each other. I'm not even gonna lie. And I'm
Hmm.
talking minimum of 6 years on up to like 12 to 13 years. Like we just mesh so good like that. And that's why I'm like I think because I'm spoiled in that way, I'm also to a point where if somebody comes and they giving something different than that, I ain't gotta put up.
Right.
I ain't gotta put up with that because I know for a fact it's people who don't take me through steadily begging you what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong, what's wrong. Like we ain't doing that. No, 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 no.
That look good. Hey, that's good. That's a good problem to have to be spoiled so much in your friend group that
Man, I
you
think
know what
they
I'm saying.
spoiled me.
Like,
They spoil me. And it is low maintenance. I'm a low maintenance friend too, so it's like they not needy. Like but I've expressed that to them like
mm,
along the beginning stages or whatever. And I'm like,
mm,
I have so much going on. I'm going to be available. I'm going to pay attention to you. I'm going to give you what you need or whatever. But like, I don't want a needy person. That's friendships or intimate. Like I want you to respect the space and work on yourself to where if I am not speaking to you that day, you don't think it's a problem. You know,
Mm.
like don't create a problem that's not there because you're needy or you need something that you don't even give yourself. Like I just won't be that friend. You know,
Right,
so
right.
I stayed all that in the beginning and we worked well together.
Right. You transparent about that. That's who you are. It's not a, it ain't nothing that they got to just figure out. You clear about, hey, this is who I am.
And I show it. And I show it. And if they reach out, hey, just checking friend, I'm like, okay, they want to talk. So hey, I give myself. You know, I don't mind. You know, I can be okay. I can be okay with never talking. I ain't gonna lie, cause I
Really?
entertain myself. Yes, I read books. I be organizing stuff. I be watching my shows. Like I be editing video. Like I really can just not talk. But I know I need to build bonds. I need to build relationships. So I make that part of myself be available.
Mm.
So it's like, but if nobody say anything to me, I'm not sitting there like, oh, I wonder it's a problem. Did I do something? Did I say something? No, I know we good.
Mm.
You know.
Right, right.
So
I'm only shocked by that because you post a lot. You say a lot of stuff online. So I'm shocked that you don't have
look,
to talk.
typing typing it takes less energy than actually holding a conversation. Trust me.
That's true.
Cause I can
That's very
choose
true.
to respond or not respond to comments, right? I could just heart it. I ain't gotta say nothing. So like typing things out, it takes way less energy than actually engaging with people and building a relationship, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Yeah. All right, cool. That was good. I'm glad. I was yeah, like I said, I was glad you posted that because because I had other stuff I wanted to do, and then I started. I was like, no, that's I feel like that hit home for me. So because like I said, I know that's something that we've had to work on. You know what I'm saying? Like having some difficult conversations in a health and making it a healthy thing, not necessarily a big whoop de doo. You know what I'm saying? Like this is just we just got to do this. It's not a bad thing. I always seen having hard conversations as a good thing. It's a good at the end of it. It's a good thing.
It,
Like
it,
you
it's
might hear
gonna
some stuff you
always,
don't want to hear. Yeah, but yeah,
especially if the person is receptive. You know what I mean? Like, and the thing is too, and before we go to the next question, I wanna just like kudos out to when you were saying like sometimes your wife is not ready to talk, right? And you just gotta let it go. Eventually, y'all do have the conversation.
yeah,
So I even with that, I just be like, man, if we could just get to the point where okay, address it, to let them know there's a problem that needs to be talked about. But if they not ready to talk, then don't make y'all day or oh my bad, some got stuck in my throat.
yeah. Take your time. Take your time.
Oh, but don't make it an issue with the person. You know what I mean? Like still live, still laugh, still go on about y'all day. You know, it's not sweeping it on the rug, but it's like don't treat them don't treat them bad. You know what I'm saying? Because they're not ready to have the conversation. Because when you open, we talk about safe spaces. So a lot of times when you continue to be that safe space for somebody, and they don't feel like you're about to attack them or you about to like make them feel like they dumb or wrong all the time, then over time you won't even have to wait. Like you be like, well, we'll talk about it later. It's going that gap in waiting gonna start to like close. And then when you ready to have a hard conversation, they gonna be ready because you've proven enough that I'm a safe space for you when it comes to these hard conversations.
You know what you hitting it on the head with that, okay? Because that is something that I had to realize. I had to learn that as time went on. Like, okay, I'm ready to go, but just because she's not doesn't mean everything just has to, crumble because she ain't ready. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yes.
it's as simple as that. And like you said, as I give more patience and have more grace with it, it does come a lot easier and more natural. And it's not as as like this big conflict. But that's it right there. You hit
And
it
look,
right
and
on the
that's the
head.
case of the
Yeah,
problem, not the person.
that's
And,
that's
and, and that's
it.
all I gotta say. That's all I gotta say.
Drop Drops Mike.
Hey, that topic is wrapped up. I'm good. Look, hey, that's it. You
For
wrapped it
sure.
up, and I put the bow on it.
For sure.
We got
Yeah.
it.
All right. I got another one. We're gonna get this in real quick and we can get up out of here. All right, let me see. Oh, let me get us back on here. Yeah. Yeah, I wanted to tackle that because I'm big on reciprocating, mutualism and all of that in relationships. I feel like that's how you gauge when you got something real with somebody is that you giving, they giving, and y'all both giving. You know what I'm saying? Y'all both putting in on this. But I know nowadays I see a lot of trending topics talking about transactional relationships and how people think that, oh, people too focused on what they getting from a person. You know what I'm saying? Like people are real focused on what the person can do for them.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And not just, making this a even a mutual experience where we both giving a thing. Everybody want to know what everybody brings to the table. You know what I'm saying? But it's like a relationship has to be more than just what you getting. And you, to me, you can't say you like a person if all you know from them is what you getting from them.
Mhm.
Yeah, to me, this is why a lot of modern relationships fail because you ain't even investing. You're not invested in who this person actually is, and you just worried about what you getting from them. You know, but yeah, I feel like that. That question was like, okay, so I think we have a conversation there that we can talk about. The biggest difference between what's transactional and what's reciprocal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. I think you said it best for real. It's that whole reciprocal is it's a circle. It's coming back full circle, right?
Mm,
Whatever that full circle is gonna be. But the transactional is yes, it's a taker. You're a taker. That's what transactional is.
mm,
Um, I I may say something that is not too agreeable. But even reciprocal relationships are transactional, right?
okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
just looking at what transaction is, right? Even reciprocal relationships are transactional. However, what you said is the most important part. I'm not just taking from the person, right? I'm giving back.
I get what you're saying.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so that's what it is. I only call you up when it's something I need you to do for me. But I forget that you exist when you need some. That's transactional. But
Mm,
reciprocal is I'm going to do for you whether you do it or not, right? Because I believe in reaping and sowing.
mm,
And if we have a bond that we built and it's good ground, right? The seeds that I sow to you, just because you are building with me as well, and you're working on even your own character, your own integrity, and you love and trust this bond, you gonna give back too without me even asking. So it's like it's a full circle. It's a lot of sowing and reaping in reciprocal relationships. In transactions, it's gonna always be just a taker and just a giver. So it's like it's as simple as that. But again, there will be transactions in a reciprocal relationship as well. That's just I don't think no bond. I made a post the other day and I was just saying like I don't care about nobody acting funny with me or not want to be cool. I don't care. If I can't gain nothing from you anyway, bye. Right? And people would think, oh, well, you just want some. I do. Right? Because life is about sowing and reaping. Why do I want to be with people that's just gonna always take from me? I don't.
right.
I want to be with people who gonna give to me too. So
Right.
yes, I want to be around people that I'm gonna benefit from. So I think that's the difference with me with the reciprocal and the transaction.
It sounds controversial at first, right? At first it sounds, but I feel like that's what I've learned. with your content, until you break it down, it do sound controversial because you don't even understand. You can't even wrap your hand around what you're saying is very true. It's very true,
Yeah.
but you can't look at it like it's when you hear transactional, you can't automatically assume that it's one way,
Yeah.
right?
Yep.
I think that's what we do. We assume that transactional means it's just going one way,
Yeah,
you know.
it's a so what I've learned in society, especially social media, is a lot of manipulation going on, a lot of it, and we're
Mhm.
using valid words to actually manipulate people. The transactional thing came in because people got tired of being used. I get it. You're right. What I just say, I ain't gonna be around nobody that ain't benefiting from, right? Because I don't want to be used. So you right, but that's not really transactional. We made it transactional, so now it's like we manipulating people to not come requiring things. If I require you to take me on dates, oh y'all, that's all y'all think about. I mean, so I ain't supposed to have a date because I don't want to seem like I'm transactional. So it's like I think a lot of words and phrases have been used in the form of manipulation. So like what you said, when you get to talking and breaking it down, then you'll be like, oh, okay, I can see that now.
Very much
Because
so.
again, think about it. If I'm reciprocating, I'm completing a transaction here,
Exactly.
right? But my
Exactly.
transaction is bringing me a good return.
Exactly.
So it's okay if you think I'm transactional. If you think I'm transactional in a bad way, that only means because you're not giving as much as I'm giving. And so you are trying to make me feel bad for wanting something that I
Exactly.
want, right? Because I feel like you're using me. So now you're talking about transactional. If you're going to do something, just do it. That's reciprocal. I'm going to do it because you are good ground, right? Friendship, businessship, relationship, familyship, you are good ground. I know what I sow into you will yield me good fruit, right? That's still a transaction being had up in there. Now, you might not give it back to me at the year that I gave it, or month that I gave it, week that I gave it, day that I gave it, but somewhere along there, when I know you up and good, oh, you gonna think about me
Yeah.
because you got this soil that you want to stay sowing on. You want to till it, you want to water it, you want to keep it going because it's good for you too.
Yeah.
That's transactional.
That's true.
So but it's some reciprocal up in that mug too. But
It
I just some of them I see that a lot too. Some things I read the comments sometimes on some people, but then I just don't get into it because I'm like, people ain't really ready. And then it's only so much you can type anyway. You get tired of arguing with people. They read it a different way or whatever. But it's like people, they really need to have the conversation because when you understand those words, you don't be scared of them. If somebody's
is.
talking about some transactional, I'm not scared. That's not gonna run me away. That I'm gonna sit and I'm gonna try to understand what do they mean by that. What
Mm-hmm.
does transactional look to them? Because transactional to them may actually be reciprocal, or transaction to them may be a person using them. So it's like just like there's no one thing for everybody, right? Everybody, the things people say is not just one for all. You gotta sit and understand people and where they coming from to know like which side of the fence that they on with it.
Yeah, that's a lot of the miscommunication that we got is that we don't understand what a person's actually saying with that. We don't get what do you mean when you say the thing. We don't have no clarifying at all. You know what I'm saying? Like no clarifying questions at all. It's
My
just like
goodness.
this is what this means to me, and it must mean it to you. It must mean the same thing, and that's not the case at all.
And that's how you gonna build bonds, clarifying.
Yeah.
And lately I'm even to the point like even when I post stuff on Facebook and go to my threads, I wish the comments would also go so it could be like in one, but threads won't see the comments on my Facebook post. But I'm to the point where I'm like, it would have been helpful if you asked a clarifying question first.
Yeah.
Because I'm starting to be so annoyed with how offensive people are trying to be. Like something is said and you just automatically know this is what this person is saying, and then you attack them again, attack the person, not the problem. You start attacking them based off what they said, and you don't even understand if they were even saying it the way you thought they were
Exactly.
saying it.
Exactly. That's why a lot of time if I come under something, first of all, I'll read some comments to see if it might answer my question before I even ask it, or I just might ask like, what do you mean by, A, B, C, and D? Just to make sure that before I even give my opinion, is I'm on the same page as the person who writing the post. You know what I'm saying? Like
Right.
that's a big issue with a lot of stuff that people don't even they're not even conscious of it because it's like you can't you might not have nothing to talk about if you understood what they was really saying. You
Yeah.
know?
Yeah. And people so I don't know if people just that misunderstood, or they just in a space where they just want to nitpick or something. But I don't understand the amount of like arguing people try to do before they ask if a person meant something. Now, if I say yes, that's what I meant, then proceed
Yeah, right, right.
the attack. Proceed with the attack. Stand on that. But if I say no, this is what I meant, then that should change the trajectory. And then now the heat should go down a little bit, and now we can have an actual conversation. Oh, okay, I thought you were saying blah blah blah, and then I can say, either no, that's not what I said, and continue. Or I could be like, oh, I see how you said, because I've done that before. Somebody done said something and I'm like, how did they take that the wrong way? But then when they went to explain more, I'm like, okay, I can see how you saw it that way.
Yeah, yeah.
However, that's not what I meant. Like, that's communication. People are always yelling, communicate, communicate. You can't even comprehend, and you want somebody to communicate.
Comprehension is the real word because
My goodness.
you're not even trying to make sure you understand what's being said, and then you have to the problem with doing stuff online is everyone thinks that everyone else is saying the same thing. Everyone's saying the exact same thing. So you could be saying a thing. If you say this word, they think that it automatically ties. Because I can see somebody online taking that the wrong way. When they hear you saying like, oh, reciprocation is transactional. I could definitely see somebody taking that the wrong way and assuming that, hey, no, it's not going to be transaction. No, it technically is. You pouring into each other,
Yeah,
and
it's
because it's a mutual thing though, it don't feel like what you see online. You don't feel like you're being used and nothing like that because you're both pouring into this thing and you're both getting something out of this thing. And to me, that's how it should look. We're
yeah,
both putting into this pot, so we
yeah,
both can eat from it. You know what I'm saying? We're both adding to this thing. You
yeah.
know,
It's a transaction. It's like, me. I'm ready to tackle whatever. I'm ready to tackle cliches. I'm ready to tackle all of it because I think because we so on edge about everything. It's like we constantly look at things from a negative aspect. But when you look at, well, it is a possibility that we are doing a transaction. When you look at it like that, you don't be so quick to be offended or so quick to like be so mad about stuff. Like that's where I'm at. Let's break this. Let's sit back, look at what's being said, and break this down. Is there the possibility that this is what's actually happening, a transaction? Because I don't want to be mad. You know what I'm saying? Like, so it's like, let's focus on calming ourselves. It's like we want to like always attack everything from a negative standpoint. It's not negative. You get your job is transactional. You going there to do a job and they pay you to do something,
man,
right? You
yeah,
ain't unless you ain't getting paid what you want to get paid, you ain't mad at the boss for being transactional, right? So I'm just like,
exactly.
you got a business, right? You ain't finna do nothing for free. They finna pay you that money for a good job, right? It's there's nothing wrong with transaction, y'all. Like, you pay me, I give you a great product. Like, we just gotta unlearn to relearn,
Yeah.
rewire our mindsets. I on my brand, Conquering Relationships, the tagline, life is your training ground to learn, grow, and become a better you. So while people is purposely and intentionally looking at everything negatively, even the wording, I'm intentionally trying to find the good in it. Is there some truth to this? Because if it is, I can't be mad about it, right? So let me figure out how to learn, grow, and become a better Brandy through this whole process of life. That's how I look at it. Before we go, I don't know if you want to tackle the comment from James.
Let me see.
It's long, so I know it ain't gonna fit all the way on the screen.
Oh,
Unless you
dang.
want to try to, let me see. Oh yeah, that long. Look, it's over your face.
Without knowing the full context, I believe that when you focus on attacking the person versus attacking the problem, we let the problem off the hook when the problem is the reason why any of us have issues with anyone. Solving the problem makes dealing with the person a lot easier because you realize it's not the person that we have the real issue with. It's really what they did slash are doing that causes or caused the problem in the first place. Then sometimes, what if they didn't know what they did created a problem. Context definitely matters in this situation. Yeah, that's perfectly said. Perfectly said. For
Yep.
sure. Yeah.
Yeah, and look again. I like it. So he married too. So it's like
Okay.
I love because we got this bad stigma on relationships. You know, people getting in relationships, but they ain't really ready for the work of relationships. They just want to get in it to say they in one, and then all this BS going on. I love when I see people in regular relationships and people that are married that actually give good context to things like this, and that shows you relationships and marriages ain't cut and dry. It's
Hmm.
not a cookie cutter. There's gonna be some curveballs up in that mud for you to learn, different things or whatever. So I like his perspective on a lot of things too, James.
Yeah, that was good. That was
I
good.
think he one of the ones I got to try to do for like the event panel
Okay.
that we gonna have. I think I got his name wrote down.
For sure. For sure. Look, yeah, the perspective is always good when you are looking to see the what I'm saying, reading between the lines between what you understand things to be and what the culture's just saying. 'Cause, you see a lot of that, and no one's stopping to say, okay, what do you actually mean by this thing right here? And I think that's something that we need to learn. That's very important. Like, what do you actually mean? But let's clarify what you're saying when you say this thing. You know, and stop acting like a person having expectations of you is just insane. Okay, like especially if you're dating and you getting to know a person, yeah, I mean, certain people are going to expect different things. Make sure you align with the right person, but the expectation is going to be there regardless. Regardless of who you choose to get up with, meet up with, invest your time in, there will be an expectation. You just got to make sure you align with a person who has expectations that you're comfortable with and that align with what you believe as well. If you're dating a girl who feel like you got to spend a certain amount on dinner, then you better know, hey, that's don't get mad at her. Go switch to the if you don't like that, go switch to the girl who don't want that.
Yes,
Like, it's as simple as that.
that's
It's
what. So they call those women transactional, right? And I'm like, but here's the thing. Every woman wants you to bring something though. You know what I'm saying? Even if they don't require you to do those big old dates that she just, the last woman required these expensive resorts or restaurants. Okay, but we can do a picnic. Picnic. Bring us some. Like pick me up. Open my door. Like every woman wants something though. So to not think that women wouldn't want anything, just go find the woman that matches your transaction or reciprocal energy. Like just find that. Like kind of like the last time we was on with the whole opposite sex friends. Like look now, everybody don't feel or think the same way you think. So just go find that woman or that man that's on the same page. No point of like the person you want. They don't think the same way you think, but you want them to, so you try to force them. You're chasing them. You want to be with them. You try to force them. Why would you do that to yourself? Just go find the people that match you. They out there.
yeah, you wasting your time doing that, and I don't want to see nobody waste their time on nothing romantic at all. Like life's too short for that. So instead of trying to change an entire culture to do things that would benefit you, just go find a person who already think like that. You know what I'm saying? Go find the people. It shocked me when I was younger. I had met this girl. Like we wasn't dating, but like we was cool, and she was like, I don't want to do nothing, but I don't. Even, she said I don't want to work. I just want to cook, clean, and what I'm saying, and hump. Basically, she didn't say hump, but she's what I'm saying. Like she was just saying like, hey, and I was like, you know what? Somebody gonna love you. You know what I'm saying? Like somebody's gonna love you, sis. Like for real. Like, and it made me think like it's people out there. You think that everybody is on the same thing and on the same page, but they're not. And this is what's uh, sad to see in the culture is how no one is conscious of how diverse we are. We are very diverse. There are diverse men. There are diverse women. No one is all on the same page with nothing. Okay, so if you feel like there's some people out there who have the specific things you want to align with, you can find them, and you need to focus on finding them,
Mhm.
and stop trying to act like the people have to change whose opinion you saw a comment on online. Oh, we got to change some stuff. No, there are people out there that don't think like that. So just focus on finding them. Like you got to focus on that. Don't worry about people having a difference of opinion on you. It's plenty of women on earth who would never in life dated a guy like me. I ain't thought twice about that when I was dating. Not even. I'm like, all right, well, who out there wants me? Okay, who out there wants me? I ain't worried about the people who don't. Let's go. Let's get to the group that I'm exactly what they're looking for. That's who I'm trying to find. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like that's who I'm trying to line up with. Don't waste your time on trying to change nobody's mind. What they want and what they prefer. You know.
Yeah. Yeah.
So.
Not only that, it's like I've been through trying to make somebody want what I want. That stuff
Mm.
hurt.
Mm.
Cause during the like you being quote unquote used, not whatever during that time, and you still don't get what you want. So why waste your time? Like you know what that feels like. So why would you do it? Why would you keep doing it again? Putting yourself through it again. Like you know how that hurts with trying to force somebody to be something that you want them to be, and y'all not on the same page. All them years that you waste doing that, you know what that's like. So why do it again? So
Not twice. You might get me once, but you ain't gonna get me
I
twice.
swear to God, and people might think I'm lying, but I'm telling you, I've never been got in the same way twice, ever,
Nah.
ever. I
Mm-mm-mm.
have learned a lot of lessons, but I ain't never had to learn them twice. I don't play that.
Right.
I just hey that hurt. I don't like that. I ain't doing. I don't like that. I ain't doing that again. So it's like when
Yeah.
I see it, all right, you go about your way.
Yeah, like you say, you can always find somebody else who ain't on none of that. But that's something that everybody don't understand. Like they be stuck in these relationships with people. What's other people out there. Like it's other people out there. Like why are you stuck? You don't have to be here at all.
Yeah.
But I try to give people grace because everybody is people scared to get out there and see what's out there.
Yeah.
I'd rather you find exactly what, because when you find exactly what you're looking for, you would never be fearful of that again. You like, oh, okay, as long as I know it exists, as
Yeah.
long as I know what I'm looking for exists, oh,
Yeah.
never be
Yeah.
fearful of that. But look, we didn't hit it. We didn't hit it. We didn't hit it on the head today. This was a good conversation. Thanks to everybody who commented, checked us out, and everything. Man, we got stuff coming for y'all, so we glad y'all rocking with us and everything. And like I said, we do this as much as we can. So when you don't see us, don't think it's just done. We might just be something might have happened. Kids get sick. Brittany living her best life out here. Okay.
I was at the comedy show doing that, and I'm like, dang, what is it, y'all? I still be forgetting which fingers.
Hilarious. I couldn't. I don't know what I wouldn't. First of all, I ain't finna do that. But yeah, I see it done. But I do see different fingers. You know what I'm saying? Everybody do it with some different fingers. I'm like, I don't know if everybody on the same page with this. We might have to. Somebody might have to make a tutorial on what fingers you use. doing this
They,
thing.
look, they know what we mean.
Right, right, right. Some
He
something in there.
So James, we he said how often do we drop episodes? We try to do every Sunday at
Yeah,
2. But like he said, some things, sometimes things come up and so we don't come on a Sunday. But yes, Sundays are our days.
yeah, yeah. Sundays. Yeah, if we can do it, definitely Sundays. But it's live. So some stuff happens. You got to do what you got to do. But
Yeah, we won't be here next Sunday though, cause like he said, I'm living my best life. I'll be
uh,
on vacation or whatever. So we won't be here next Sunday, but yeah.
yeah, yeah. Thanks for rocking with us. Like I said, we look forward to doing some more stuff and getting some more good content out there for everybody and man, some great stuff. So, but yeah, we go ahead and sign on off, and we're gonna see y'all next time. Not next Sunday, but Sunday after next. We gonna circle back around for sure. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and end this.